In recent years, we have observed a growing movement to abolish physical money in favor of digital and electronic payments. Initially seen as a modern convenience, this movement now presents itself as the key to the absolute control of the financial system. What once seemed like a simple adaptation to new technologies is now seen as a strategic step into remove any form of financial freedom. In a world without physical money, all financial transactions, from breakfast to big acquisitions, would be traceable, monitored, and controlled by a centralized system. Countries like Sweden and China are already at the forefront of this transition, with large financial blocs massively investing in digital payment solutions. If physical money ceases to exist, who controls the flow of money will control, in fact, the choices and behavior of the population. This becomes a real threat to individual privacy and freedom. But the question that remains is, we are heading towards a global financial system that deprives us of financial autonomy. What will happen when money is no longer tangible, but a mere line of code? Imagine a world where every financial transaction you make is completely visible to the government and major corporations. Every time you buy something, every payment you make, it will be recorded, processed, and stored in a centralized database. This is the future being pushed by the cashless system. While cash transactions today leave no trace, in a cashless system, every action will be tracked and monitored. This isn't just about making it easier to buy products and services. It's a tool for mass control. Once your spending behavior is recorded, the next step will be setting limits on what you can or cannot purchase, depending on your financial behavior or even your political ideology. Imagine that, for some reason, you decide to support a movement that the elites consider subversive or radical. Your financial system could automatically block your access to certain goods or services, even in your daily life. The implementation of centralized and programmable money could in reality become a tool to punish citizens and restrict personal freedom. So the real question is, are we trading our freedom of action for technological convenience? When the only way to buy and sell is digital, who will decide what you can or cannot do with your own money? Behind the movement that is transforming physical money into a relic of the past, there are large companies and financial elites that have everything to gain from this new system. Global banks, technology giants, and governments are joining to create a system where financial control will be completely centralized. With physical money disappearing, transactions will be processed by centered banks and financial platforms, which would charge fees on each movement. This means that, in addition to total control over people's financial behavior, large institutions would have the power to profit further on the population. The real gain for these elites is in the absolute control of the economy, because without the possibility of transacting outside the system, who controls the banking system controls the wealth of all. Each transaction, from salaries to debt payment, would be managed by a single entity or set of entities that could manipulate money flows according to their conveniences. While large corporations and banks benefit from cashless, people lose their autonomy and financial freedom. But at the same time, the elites are really in control, or there are greater forces trying to further consolidate this financial power. The transition to a totally digital system represents not only the loss of a physical resource, but also the weakening of individual freedoms. When money is no longer tangible, ownership of money becomes an abstraction, controlled by a central entity that may decide who may or may not have access to their own funds. The impact of this will be deep on people's daily lives. How to buy products without access to a bank account or a smartphone. How to live without the possibility of making cash transactions. Implications for the poorest or those in developing countries are even more serious, as they can be excluded from the global financial system completely. With the cashless system in full operation, the privacy will be irreversibly lost. What you buy, where you buy, with whom you buy, everything will be registered in a database accessed by governments and corporations. Imagine living in a world where each purchase or sale act is monitored, and any movement outside the established standards is signaled and even punished. The critical question is, who is winning with this new system, and who does it really fit? The cashless system is a much broader proposal than just eliminating physical money. It is, in essence, an attempt to redefine the nature of commerce and finance in a digitized world, where individuals will no longer have full control over their financial transactions. But the big question is that a real freedom or just a prison disguised as progress? As the world advances to this new system, with the China leading the race with its digital currency, the West also follows the same path, with central banks already in the testing phase for the creation of own digital currencies. The transition seems inevitable, but the true doubt that remains is, who will be in control when all aspects of human life are linked to a centralized financial system? The big concern is that with cashless, we are creating a system where elites can control everything: what you buy, where you go, who you know, and how far you live. But if society already coercimi, it is being shaped according to these new parameters, there is still room to fight this system, or are we condemned to live in a digital prison without walls? Now, I want to know your opinion. Cashless system is a true revolution for society, or the beginning of absolute control over our lives? Leave your comment, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more investigations into the backstage of global power. After all, if we live in a world without physical money, who will really have control of our freedom?